It took almost 10 years to create Suicide Squad Killer Justice League, and even with all the controversy surrounding this game, there were people, including myself, who had high hopes for this game, mainly because it was made by Rocksteady, the same people who made 3 absolute bangers in the Arkham series, through gameplay and storytelling. Today we're going to learn exactly how they basically threw that second part out of the window. And if you want to know how they blew their one and only chance to bring this game back to life, stay until the end. Okay, so let's talk about the story, but first I have to preface what I'm about to say by saying this. Everything that I'm about to say is coming from someone who has been following this game and playing it myself. I've even defended it when people who hadn't even played the game were going around spreading straight up misinformation about it. But this is something I simply cannot defend. The story is damn near non-existent. Let me explain. I'm pretty sure every gamer can say that at one point in your career, instead of playing the game's story, you prefer experiencing it through cutscenes on YouTube. Most times, when you go on YouTube to see the story, these videos of the cutscenes could last, at the shortest, I've seen maybe an hour, and at the longest around 11 hours. But I will honestly tell you that all the cutscenes combined for season 1 were maybe 5 minutes, and that's being extremely generous. All we got was an opening cutscene explaining what we already knew. Joker has been captured by Brainiac, and his world is destroyed, so go get him. And that's basically it. So you play through the game and grind to get him because there is nothing else in between getting the Joker and the boss fight to fight Brainiac. But that's a separate issue that we'll get into more detail with later in the video. When we finally defeat a reskinned Green Lantern Brainiac boss fight, Joker just kind of shows up with a funny quip. And when we finally take him to the Hall of Justice, we see that he has some kind of skills. He's no pushover. The group says some funny stuff and then they just put him in a cell. If you didn't already buy him, this makes him playable. But the part of it that really grinds my gears is the fact that Harley Quinn and the Giggler basically have no interaction with each other. Even if the Joker didn't have a Harley in his world, our Harley had a Joker in hers, and she had a very strong attachment to him. So much so that when she found out that Henry and the other guys were adopting the Joker's personality and traits, she was willing to do anything to have them. Now, the only way to defend this is to say maybe during the 5-year time skip, Harleen has taken more control than Harley Quinn, causing a change of heart and some real healing. And for you guys who don't know who I'm referencing, in Batman Arkham Knight, when playing as Harley Quinn, she would literally have a mental battle with her first personality, Harleen, basically telling her that her actions are wrong and trying to get her to change. But in my opinion, that still wouldn't make any sense, because even if she did spend time healing and changing her psychotic ways and changing her mind, it's crazy that we don't even get a wow that's crazy out of her. Straight up diabolical. Like, it's one of the easiest things to put together in a story. Like, it's pretty much already done for you. I don't know why they didn't make that a thing or make it like a big deal. They don't even have in-game interactions. They basically ignore each other, whereas all the other characters are talking to each other mid-game and saying things to each other. And the fact that we get more emotion out of Rick Flag and Amanda Waller towards the Joker is crazy to me. Now, earlier I briefly talked about the grind of getting the Joker, and now, as promised, I will elaborate. Like I said earlier in the video, there is nothing, absolutely zero cutscenes or story in between them telling us about the Joker and us actually getting the Joker. You can buy the Joker right then, or you could just grind to get him. Of course, most people will just say, hey, I'm just gonna grind up the mastery level to get him. Easy, right? Well, this is where it gets fucked. Normally, if you want to grind your mastery levels up, you would play each incursion on the highest difficulty. This will unlock even higher difficulties and allow you to rank up very, very fast. What they did differently this season was, instead of keeping it like that, they decided to lock the higher difficulty behind the boss fight that you're trying to level up for in the first place, making the grind much slower than it needs to be. If you don't know what you're doing, and I'm not going to waste your time by making a whole other video on how to do it, I'll just tell you here. All you gotta do is play Laughing Riot 35 times. The whole incursion only takes 2 minutes, and that's a stretch. But by the time you get the Joker, you don't even want to play anymore, which is sad because the Joker is a ton of fun to play as. He's in my top 3, and I believe the only reason they do that is to get you to buy him outright. I guess they were hoping you would see how stupid the grind was and just buy it. Once you've done the recent boss fight and got the Joker, you're left with nothing but incursions, and not even a cutscene getting us excited about what's next. Seriously, the only real reason to continue playing this game is the Battle Pass, and even the Battle Pass isn't all that. Just like a Battle Pass in any game, there's going to be things that you like on it and things that you don't like. But my main issue with it is that I play on the highest difficulty invasion level and the highest mastery difficulty. And yet, my battle pass level feels like it barely moves. Now imagine someone who doesn't want to play on the hardest difficulty, they just want to play it for fun, be casual with it. They're not going to be able to get anything on that battle pass. It's going to take them fucking months. Now I can sit here and shit on what they did wrong all day, but it would be an injustice to not talk about what they did right. And the only thing they did right was make the weapons cool and make Joker fun. Other than that, they did nothing right. I actually made a video about what they can do and should do to breathe life back into the game, and they actually did the exact opposite of what I suggested, besides making the Joker fun, which is crazy because everything that I said in that video would have been very seamless to incorporate in the game and in the story. Maybe WB and Rocksteady need to start hiring actual fans of the characters and the stories instead of people who think they know something about the characters and the stories and the fan base. That makes the most sense to me. Side note, that's the whole reason I can make these videos and be just a little bit successful, is because I don't just know my audience, I am my audience. 9 times out of 10, if you're watching my videos, we're probably kind of similar in some ways. But do I think this is the end of this game? That would be a strong maybe, because it's really up to WB if they want to pull the plug. I mean, they made $1 billion from Hogwarts Legacy. What's 200 million lost to them? But this may be one of my last videos covering this game unless something super major happens. So subscribe if you like content based around our favorite superheroes.